Right. Sorry about that. Ran out of space. Anyway, so like I was saying, we get 20 minutes of epic throwdown. So we have all these traditions, and they say let's change it up a bit. Let's add something new. And of those new things, making the lead character basically a white guy, is one of the best changes that I've seen that they made. Let's bring in someone else. Let's bring in some other guy from across the sea, and a good actor too. And it's Bryan Cranston, and his acting was superb. He's there. He's this smart guy. We equate Bryan Cranston with this genius guy, Walter White, and so it's like, we want someone to play smart. Well, who's the smartest guy on TV? Heisenberg. So still fresh off of Breaking Bad. Having a scientist, an American scientist, and people to believe he is, an American scientist. The guy makes himself sound smart, like he knows what the hell he's talking about. Instead of just random technobabble, people just spout off, and it's like, oh well, of course that's what it's supposed to be. Bryan Cranston has this way of sounding like he actually knows what the hell he's talking about. He makes you believe he's as smart as he is, as he plays in his role. And so, just to pick someone else to be the lead, picking him was the best possible option. And changing locations, going to the U.S., everything they've added to this film is really great. It's all the proper changes one would make, all the correct choices someone would make. Trust me, this could have gone wrong so many other different ways if they chosen wrong. I've seen it like countless times in other films with reboots and this and that, where people say let's change things up, let's add a new element or whatever, and it is just it's just I've seen so many bad mistakes because they choose things that don't work. It becomes clunky and clumsy and awkward, and kind of just like, why? I've seen that so many times, but with this, it's like logical, perfect. Yes, all right, that's good. Yes, world building, showcasing this more of a world that affects more of the world, not just this tiny little, one nation. That it affects, pretty much everybody. It affects the world. The world is at stake, not just Japan. The world is at stake. So that is the better idea. Now, is there any gripes I have as a Godzilla fan about this? The biggest gripe I have about this film is the lack of monster throwdown running time. When we're first introduced, there is no epic throwdown. It just cuts to a news broadcast of a few seconds of them fighting. Granted, it's a good, nice few seconds of them fighting, but that's it. Then we'll wait another half an hour until they get to San Francisco. And then they have the epic throwdown for about 20 minutes of back and forthing between Godzilla and the lead characters. It helps build the tension, but honestly, why couldn't we get more epic throwdown in Hawaii? Or more running time in San Francisco. Like, why not? It's a Godzilla film. These scenes are supposed to go on a little too long. That's what makes it a Godzilla film. It's like a boxer's, going 10 rounds, like Rocky. The Rocky films, they go on for rounds and rounds and rounds. They go on for like 10 rounds or something like that. And at the end, it's like, we are just like at our last, good punch before we collapse type of fighting scene, and that's what we want to get out of Godzilla, is that these things can go on. They're big, strong monsters. They tend to go on a little while. And we don't really get that too much. We get a little bit of that, but it feels a lot shorter than your standard Godzilla film monster throwdown running time. And that's what we want. We want more Godzilla, And so it's rather lacking in that. So as a good Godzilla franchise, movie with like a legacy to live up to, I find this movie rather lacking because they killed off a good lead character. They have a good build up. They have a good story build up to everything, but they killed off their lead. They introduced his kid as the new lead, and they write around him to keep him in the story. Favoritism. They don't have the epic running time of the Godzilla throwdown scenes. And they don't bother to really... Because the people in Japan were studying the monster the best they can, at the power plant. But when they were shipped to America, that monster was just put away in storage. Like, they had no idea what to do with it. It's like, you're scientists. Why don't you study it? Put it in a lab. Something. So that feels a bit contrived that it was just put there for convenience sake, writing wise. And these handful of illogicalness kind of really bogs down the enjoyment factor, because you're kind of scratching your head through this while you're trying to enjoy this monster movie or Godzilla movie, and it's a very subpar movie by my standards. I'm a big Godzilla fan. I've been watching Godzilla all my life. I've seen like 10 different films, or of the 37, I forget how many there were, but of the Godzilla films, I've seen about 10 of them. And as a grown-up, this is probably one of the more bit lacking logical ones I've seen. It's just, the logic doesn't make too much sense. And I think it's probably enjoyable if you're drunk and you can't think about stuff too much, and as a rental. To maybe get behind the scenes featurettes and stuff on the extras on DVD would probably make it a bit more worthwhile of a enjoyment to watch as a Godzilla fan, because then you'll see behind the scenes stuff and this and that. And that's it, really. So as a standalone movie, it's an okay monster movie. As a Godzilla movie with the legacy, it's really subpar. Yeah. It's probably better than Gigan and Godzilla's Revenge or Destroy All Monsters. So yeah, that's probably its ranking is just above those two. So that's all I had to say about this last little rant in it once was 2 rooms and now it's 1. Yeah, so well, this is the archivist saying, signing off for the last time in this room. Take care, and hopefully we'll pick up again in the new duds. Sorry. New location. Duds, I think, means closing. It's a foreign old term anyway. Anyway. Hope to see you again at the new location. Till then, take care, and as always, see you at the conventions.